Okay, so this is part 2 in this top 10 reasons why the Torah cannot be perfect, eternal, unchanging, as claimed by the First Fruits of Zion and various other Hebrew Roots movement organizations. The law of Moses is not for all times, all people, and all places. It just was never meant to be. Here's another reason why. Baptism. So the covenantal sign of God's initial promise to Abraham, of course, it was given to him after he came to the promised land, and Paul makes a big deal out of that in Romans. You'll want to read that as well. The initial sign of God's covenant to Abraham for him and all of his physical descendants was circumcision. The covenantal sign of God's further promise to all the peoples of the world through Jesus Christ is baptism, as Jesus himself says, Matthew 28:19. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. So if Torah is perfect, eternal, unchanging, if that was everything we needed to know and nothing can change from it and it will be forever, how can there be a new sign given to a new people? It's foundational for the gospel, right? Jesus says, baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is not anticipated in the Torah. This is not in keeping with what is required. There's no mention of baptizing Gentiles in Torah. There's certainly no clear, there also is not a clear delineation of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit like that in Torah. Again, that's further revelation, progressive revelation. We'll get to that later because that's one of the points. The early church emphatically rejected the notion that circumcision should be applied to Gentile believers. Again, in Galatians, Paul makes a big deal about that. Instead, it proclaimed that baptism was the public profession for both Jewish and Gentile followers of Jesus alike. If you were in Jesus Christ, baptism is the way which you publicly demonstrate that you have died with him, that you have risen with him, that you will rise with him. It's baptism. And therefore, Torah cannot be perfect, eternal, unchanging, because God has given all of the world a new sign.